dear civil services aspirants, history మీ అందరికీ తెలుసు, హిస్టరీ ప్లేస్ ఏ మేజర్ రోల్ ఇన్ ప్రిలిమినరీ, బోత్ ప్రిలిమినరీ అండ్ మెయిన్స్. history does not mean that it is simply history. It also includes culture. Basically Indian history and culture, Indian culture. These are the two important components of preliminary and mains. దేనికి నేను ఇంతకుముందు చెప్పినట్టు ప్రిలిమినరీకి వచ్చేటప్పటికి ఇంతకుముందు 20 క్వశ్చన్ల వరకు వచ్చాయి. ఇప్పుడు మాత్రం 15 నుంచి 18 క్వశ్చన్లు వస్తాయి. వాటిలో 5 to 6 questions from culture part. Rest are from ancient India, medieval India, modern India. Modern India నార్మల్గా 10 క్వశ్చన్లు వస్తాయి. అండ్ రెస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ది 8 క్వశ్చన్స్ వచ్చేది ancient and medieval India, which includes even culture also, Indian culture also. మనం ఏన్షియంట్ ఇండియా చదవటానికి నేను ఆల్రెడీ ఒక బుక్ సజెస్ట్ చేశాను. అదేంటంటే రీడ్ తమిళనాడు గవర్నమెంట్ స్కూల్స్ టెక్స్ట్ బుక్, దట్ ఈస్ ఇంటర్మీడియట్ స్టాండర్డ్ ఫర్ ఏన్షియంట్ ఇండియా, medieval India and modern India. In addition to that, ఒక బుక్ ఏంటంటే మోడర్న్ ఇండియా బై బిపిన్ చంద్ర కానీ అర్జున్ దేవ్ కానీ, 8th class స్టాండర్డ్ అర్జున్ దేవ్. బిపిన్ చంద్ర కానీ అది బెటర్. రీడ్ దోస్ 2 books. ఏన్షియంట్ ఇండియా, medieval India, సింప్లీ రీడ్ దట్ తమిళనాడు టెక్స్ట్ బుక్. నేను ఎందుకు చెప్తున్నానంటే దట్ ఈస్ లాంగ్వేజ్ ఈజ్ సింపుల్, ఫ్యాక్చువల్ అండ్ దెన్ ఈజీ టు రిమెంబర్ and easy to understand also. Therefore, I suggest that it should be read. Then, with regard to the what is to be read, how to approach the history, and very simply, ancient India, only few topics, culture point of view చదువుకోవాలి. Culture point of view, you have to read. Why I am saying is, culture mostly comes from ancient and medieval India. Therefore, what is to be read in ancient India, if you ask me, I will tell, read Indus Valley Civilization thoroughly. Particularly its features, characteristic features. It is an urban civilization, it is a bronze civilization, and then read characteristic features, that is town planning, its features, and also read how far it extended. What is the north boundary, south boundary, west boundary, east boundary. Likewise, you read it. And then you also come to what is known as seals. Characteristic features contains seals, and also some religious part, that is Pasupati, etc. These things have to be known and understood. And then come down to the mature phase of, these are all appear in only mature phase of Indus civilization. That is approximately around 2700 or so it reaches. Then how it declined, how sudden it declined. Is it a sudden decline or is it a gradual decline? By 1900 or 1700 BC, it disappeared altogether. And there are some causes or reasons given by historians, various historians. Specifically, one theory is there, that is called Aryan invasion theory. And also you have, because of the cyclones or floods, because of the floods and all, some reasons are there which you have to be known. You must know those things. And then how it continued afterwards, that civilization has continued after the Indus Valley civilization. Prior to the Indus Valley civilization also, you have what is known as proto-history, the prehistory, sorry. This is called proto-history. Indus Valley civilization is called proto-history, and before this it is called prehistory. That is, some cultures are there. Indus Valley has not come all of a sudden. It has actually grown from certain cultures. What are those cultures? Prehistory, historical cultures. One must know it. Then comes to next, after Indus Valley civilization, you have to read about Vedic civilization. When you come down to Vedic civilization, you must know what are the two types. I mean, Rigvedic civilization and later Vedic civilization. In the Rigvedic civilization, what are the sources of Rigvedic civilization? Simply I can say that we must know what is the literature of Rigveda, how many Vedas are there, what includes Vedas and Vedangas, these things, and Smritis also. You must know what are those and the period and all. Then later on, what are the differences between both Rigvedic and later Vedic with regard to social, with regard to economic, with regard to political aspects. Then you have what is that called 6th century BC, in which some heterodox sects appeared on the scene of Indian culture, that is Buddhism and Jainism particularly. You have Asvikas, etc. But you should know which are the sects which have come up. There are 4-5 sects are there. But basically these three are supposed to be very important. One must know it. And with regard to Buddhism, you have to read the life history of Buddha. That means you don't require that much. You have to know when did he left his house, what was he prior to it. Then with regard to when he turned into Buddha, what are the things which he visited, and also ceremonies or sermons which he has spoken or given. And then there are what is that, he told life is full of dukkha and there is a nirodha for dukkha, the cause is there for dukkha, and it can be removed, dukkha can be removed. Third and fourth, there is a Ashtanga Marga. You must know what are the Ashtanga Margas and all, at least headlines. And then you have what is that called, what is the Buddhist philosophy. Basically Buddhist philosophy, Dharma Chakra Parivartana, it revolves around this Dharma Chakra Parivartana. Then the decline of Buddhism. This much. And who are the kings who have actually supported Buddhism, like Ashoka, like Kanishka, like Ashavardhana. These are the very important kings which we must know and we must read also. And who are the Buddhist monks who have visited India, during whose period they have? They are from China, particularly Pahian, Yuanzong and Iching. These are the three people who have visited India, during whose period and all. Then you have what is that called, very important from examination point of view, that is what are the sects of Buddhism. It is not that Hinayana and Mahayana. There are Mahayana sects again, there are Hinayana sects also. Which are the Buddhist sects which are practiced in Burma, which is practiced in Sri Lanka, which is there in India, and also Thailand, etc. And these are the things which one has to know it. Jainism, simply read about Mahayana and Tirthankaras. Not much, very simple questions will come, and also not too many questions will come from Jainism, but in Buddhism questions will come. Then what is that called? Next you have to come down to Mauryas, and in Mauryas you must read when did Alexander came, up to what point he has come, and who are the kings who have been defeated by Alexander. And then later on Chandragupta Maurya, when did he come, what were the events taken place during the period of Chandragupta. And there is one fellow called Seleucus Nicator, a Greek king, who has sent his ambassador, who has sent his men as an ambassador to Pataliputra. And then his name is Megasthenes. He wrote a book called Indica. And these are the things one has to know it during the Chandragupta Maurya period. And also during the later part, and he has a one chief minister or the minister, chief minister like that is Chanukya, and he wrote also Ardhashastra. That book, at least a few chapters, what are those referring to? Because the administration is, Maurya's administration is studied from that angle and also Indica's angle. Therefore, we have to know it. There are some sources also which one has to know. And then you have a very important ruler like Ashoka, who has was a good period of him. He was a Buddhist and also propagated Buddhism and waged war against Kalinga. And then he became Bheri Ghosha. He declared Bheri Ghosha to Dharma Ghosha. And then he propagated Buddhism. He sent his son and daughter to Sri Lanka, and he also appointed some Dharma Mahamantras to propagate Buddhism. These things one has to know, and what are the Dharma contains, what is his Dharma and what it contains. And also you have a very important thing called inscriptions, that is rock inscriptions and pillar inscriptions. Major rock inscriptions, minor rock inscriptions, where are they located, and pillar inscriptions also, important pillar inscriptions. One has to know it. Then last king Brihadratha, the king was killed by his military commander Pushyamitra Sunga. That thing has to be known. And later on we come to a period, I mean a dark period they call it, but there is a one ruler who has to be known, that is Kanishka Varta, and his rule, and he was a Buddhist king, and then he also conducted, during his period the Buddhist councils held. How many Buddhist councils were held, and also who occupied, who has actually conducted those things, and who are the important monks who have presided over the Buddhist councils have to be known. Then come down to the later, the next period is Guptas, and during the Gupta period is called as Swarna Yugam or golden period. Why it is called golden period? Is it really golden period? What are the things in which areas it is a golden period? Particularly in the area of culture, that is a revival of Hinduism, and also the poets, very well known, renowned poets were there during the period of Guptas, and these things have to be known. And then there is a one ruler called Chandragupta II, Chandragupta I, Chandragupta II, and in between there is a one fellow called Samudragupta. His Allahabad pillar inscriptions, his conquests have been written in it, and then these are the things which we have to know. And come down to again, next is the man, the last greatest Hindu ruler is called, that is Harshavardhana. And Harshavardhana period, who visited Harshavardhana period, we understand what was the account which he has written also to be known. Then it is called CUP. And then Harshavardhana initially was a Saiva, what is that called, worshipper, and later on he became a Buddhist. And these things have to be known. He was defeated by Pulakesini II of Chalukya. These things have to be known. This is what is briefly called ancient India. These are the areas where you have to concentrate and know for ancient India. Later on I will, tomorrow I will talk to you about medieval India. Thank you.